Recording in progress.
Check one, check one, check one.
Houston, we have a problem. They'll find you over there pretty soon. No. That's not wrong.
Oh, yeah. Tell me where we could take it back to.
Yeah. So please don't.
Will is gracious to you are really take the floor. Thank you. I've been helping.
Sorry about that, Jack.
Morning, Jack.
Morning. How are you?
We're good. How are you?
I'm good.
Morning, Jack. I don't know if you remember me, Jane Foley.
It may be,
I-
the speaker is actually on the,
Get down there.
on that down there.
Jack, morning, it's Jane Foley. I don't know if you remember meeting me.
Oh,
before.
sure. I do, Jane. Good to see you.
Good to see you
Yeah, we need to behave.
Yeah.
Did you ring the bell or was it just my hearing up like that?
Here's that.
Okay. It was actually kind of a.
I looked at my watch and I thought. All right. Morning.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, that one I heard, yes.
What?
All right, let's join me at the pledge of allegiance.
We actually have a real flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'm sure we are. Newest member Heather is, maybe she's working at the coffee shop. I haven't heard if it opened or not.
Actually, the owner, majority, played in Richter Price Promise called tournament on Monday. She'd never played golf before. I'm not sure how many people her forces had. Well, she won, her team won the second flight, which was unusual. Lines are off.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Golf.
But anyway, she said she hopes to have a soft opening now on June 26th, that there's been a lot of issues and county health and all the inspectors, everybody, it's like. Less overwhelming.
too. Yeah.
Not Overland. She did not, actually, she did not mention Overland. She didn't. That was Sycamore Hill. Really? Yeah. Are you,
Come on,
are
Tom,
you the
clear that.
inspector also, for Sycamore Hill? That goes through county. Goes through county.
Yeah, yeah.
You're like,
I got the- Well, I'm gonna start out
typical politician.
and fines this morning.
All right.
I'm fining myself $1 for not having a pen. I'm filing thank you, myself $1 for not speaking. I'm fining myself $1 for getting the badges this morning. It was right there. And got involved in something else. And $2 happy bucks that I'm not fining myself for anything else. Oh.
Thank you, Jerry.
And the other people don't have to.
Yeah, let's get up.
There's just a plate.
Yeah, I do.
And I'm doing this because I am Sergeant Long.
And secretary.
And secretary.
And president. Secretary elect, yes, that's secretary.
You're elected. Okay, I'm correct.
Elected.
Oh.
Am I doing a little bit late?
I have done a little right.
Yeah.
Oh. Right? I have no pin, but I figured. That'll work. Thank you. And then what is this for? Very good.
So where do you live?
Anybody else? Gary, I'll just think all the comments you made, that makes you district government. What would that be, 2040 or something? That's,
Fine for Martin not being on and a happy buck. Because last week it was so neat to see everybody and see that they look like they used to be and. I'm happy to do this thing.
Glad you made it.
anybody else? Oh, all right.
There's no pin.
Oh, no pin, okay, very good.
I made him get those.
Does anybody need some pins? Because we actually lost have some magnetics. Hang on. Right. That's what this one.
Well, I don't have to keep one.
Yep.
No, that's.
Yeah, this one I bought it 22 years ago.
The pin definitely works. It might hurt just to shake.
So the magnetics are the new style. How much are these days? 20?
Well, we do need another.
Now that I looked at,
That's a new problem.
I have no idea.
don't know.
You're like, yeah.
The new brand name.
Well, wait a minute, I want my fine back. I got a pin now.
Don't work that way.
But, yeah.
He doesn't know the price yet.
It was about 5. I don't remember.
I'll tell you.
The walk.
Oh, Luke's here.
Ruth's here.
Ruth, Bill Carroll, $5.
Okay.
All right. Anybody else have any news for the group? We talk about the campground. Talk about the campground. Hey, talk about the campground.
Sure, I'll be happy to talk about the campground. Campground will be turned in later today. For those, the application is. For those that don't know or don't remember, we were gonna buy them a pallet jack that had a scale on it. And they had a sponsor who really wanted to buy it for them and didn't want them to wait, so we find something else. And we said, sure. So what we're gonna do is buy a second laptop to match the laptop that we're getting to the change paper grant. We're going to buy an iPad and we're gonna buy a printer. All of which they requested. This is not cheap, let's start that on text out, this is what they requested. A couple of questions came up about the iPad, that they really want this. lower amount, I think is what we said. 32 we talking about maybe 128, but she sent me the exact length of what she wanted. So I said, okay, that's what you want, that's what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
So the paperwork will be turned in today. They extended the cap debt to the end of the month. We should know by mid-July, maybe the end of July, and then we can start to work on it from there. Right now, the club will owe 1,048 and change, so call it 1,050. 1,000 is our match, the 50 is over. That may change depending on what the cost of electronics are between now and when we actually order it. So as soon as we can get it, that's what we do.
Sounds good. Thanks for all your work on that, Dave.
It's done.
Although I did see that the price of wood futures dropped a little bit.
All right.
It's not the advocacy anymore. It's right.
Anybody else? I want you to do that time.
Oh, man. The man in black.
Yeah.
Don't look like Dr. Gash.
Well, no, we're talking about the CAP grant, and the funds for that CAP grant come from our Rotary Foundation donations, not ours, but all that's sent in from the district. And then we get a percentage of that back to use right here, as well as to give out scholarships. We have a $25,000 recipient of a scholarship that's going to be speaking at our district installation of our new governor. And one of the things is Jeffrey, which, we get to use it right here, whether it's playing violin for Rittner, or we've used it for Warm Coat, we've used it for dictionaries, third graders through the years. And so our club supported the foundation, as is not great news to most folks here is the top in our district. Whether we have a club of 140 or our club of 20, we're leading the way. And it's through our membership, because that's where the money comes from. It's not the club donating the money, but our members. And Paul Harris was the founder of Rotary back some 5,000 years ago, I think, if I remember right. Lawyer in Chicago, probably lives in Nashville. The recognition is for $1,000 and then they started adding different gems and things to it to recognize someone who's given another 1,000 to another. And this is a Paul Harris Fellow plus 7. Actually, $8,000 donation to the foundation. Since our wonderful member Terry Nolan has joined our club. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Jerry, for helping us lead the way. All right, so with that, I'm going to have Dave Muller introduce our guest speaker. If we can have, when you speak, maybe come here, that way you're facing the camera, and Jack can participate.
Well, my pleasure this morning to introduce Foley. Specifically, I've known Jane personally about 6:45. We've spoken a few times, and she was gracious enough to come this morning and speak. This is a league that has a lot of programs around town for youth and for women primarily, and a retail shop over in State 4 that helps to raise funds for them, that kind of thing. And I'm glad that's going on because that's what I know. Very appreciative that you were able to come this morning. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Just by way of background, lived almost all my life here in St. Louis. Michelle, and it sounds like what you do with Rotary is very similar to the things that we are passionate about. David, how would you explain that?
Should we, it's mine, so it's a here.
Thank you.
I hear what's going, let's hear what's back.
All right, thank you.
In here.
And we're-
Or if nothing else, I will just sit over there and it's like, please.
And
I'm used to that.
I think too far away.
So we are nonprofit organization. Yeah, part of the national organization. We started in the state of California, over 100 years ago, and to our detriment, we are not very well known. And especially here in St. Louis. Here in St. Louis, have you ever heard of us before, anybody? Yes. We've been here in St. Louis for 34 years, but part of the national organization for over 100. We are heavily chaptered in the state of California, probably about 50 chapters in the state of California, and then spread out throughout the United States over and above that. We started in the state of California with a group of ladies who got together to help victims of an earthquake. And then they stayed together afterwards to say, what can we do for our community? We are GuideStar Platinum rated. We are also recognized by the Better Business Bureau and also by Charity Applicant. This is a picture outside of our headquarters. We are located in Ellisville. We have our headquarters building in Ellisville, and we bring children to us to do several of our programs. The different programs that we have are that we provide school uniforms for children. We have left shoes and socks, support to women in shelters, books to promote literacy, quiet activity kits, and an outreach program that responds to unmet needs. We treat the trip to our headquarters for the students as a field trip, and we bring 60 children a day by bus, and we provide the bus service for those children, and they come between mid-August and mid-November, 60 children a day, usually Monday through Friday, and it usually takes about 30 of our volunteers to do that program on a daily basis. This is inside our dressing area. We have two areas that look like this. They are side by side. We have a girl side and a boy side. We individually talk to each one of these children and fit them with their clothing. That is something that we are very, very proud of, and COVID really made a difference for how we administer our programs. We have not stopped doing any of our programs, but the individual attention and the one-on-one that we did not give last year, and it really made us feel differently about what we do. But we know that the children still need the clothing, and we provided those clothing curbside to the schools, and they still delivered the clothing, but we really miss seeing the smiling faces of the children that we dealt with. When the children come to us, they have activities that keep them busy. Children need to, and as you all know, because you work with a lot of school districts, children go to school, they eat breakfast a lot of times at school, and we have to have them back for lunch. Most of the school districts that we serve are schools that have 100% or very high percentage of free and reduced lunch children. So we have to get them after breakfast, get them on the bus, bring 60 children to our headquarters in Ellisville, dress those children, get them back on the bus, and get them back for lunch. So you know it's got to be a well-oiled machine, and it is. This is a Lego slide. Lego is one of the things that we do with the children after they get fitted with their clothing. One year that a group of children came, we didn't have enough Legos to go around to all the children that wanted to play Legos. And frequently we need to save children year after year because they are in the straits that they are in. And they may run into a volunteer that they have seen before, but the chances are probably pretty small that they're not going to see the same lady. So this one little boy got off the bus one year with a backpack on his back, and he said, "I'm here." And we're like, "Oh, great, we're glad to see you." And, you know, he's expecting that everybody was going to recognize him and know that it was but we didn't know Joe Smith, but he had his backpack on. And he came in, he unzipped his backpack and he dumped his Legos out on the table and he said, this is for all of you so that you can have enough Legos for everybody to go around.
Wow.
So he brought back Legos for us and we then thanked Joe Smith for bringing those to us because he was giving to us just like we were giving to them. Thank you. This is a picture of our dressing areas. And this has all the clothing in it. This is before inventory, which is why everything is taped. But as you can see, at the far end of the hallway, there are dark blue pants on the right-hand side. So the children will get 2 pairs of dark blue pants. They get 6 pairs of underwear, 6 pairs of socks. They get 2 short sleeve shirts. They're light blue, 1 long sleeve light blue shirt. They get a blue sweatshirt. They get a toothbrush, a toothpaste. Where you see the AL on the far wall, that's the library. They choose their own books. The girls get a hair ribbon. They get hats, gloves, they get belts. We send sports bras back to the nurses because they distribute those. We send deodorant back to the nurses. They distribute those. So all in all, they get about 22 items when they come to us for coming and being them. These are some pictures of the children trying on their clothes and one of our volunteers working with those children. As you can see, everybody's feeling good about getting the job done. These are children that are sitting next to each other at the library spot. And frequently we see friends pick out the same books because they want to be reading the same books. And that's what these 3 girls are showing you, that they've chosen the same books to read. Okay. These are our volunteers. We have as I said, well-oiled machine that goes on here. This is where we scan the barcodes that go out, and we keep good track of what goes out of our building. We are good stewards with our money and those who trust us to give us donations because we want to make sure that we are giving back to the community. And as I said before, I don't know if I emphasized it enough, but we are all volunteers. We have absolutely no paid staff. And the things that monies go out of our building for are things like utilities. We have purchased our building, so we no longer have a mortgage. We have to pay rent on our retail shop when I get to that, telling you about that, but everything else goes out to the community. We package things in a brown paper bag, and each child gets a brown paper bag as they walk out the door. It may not be theirs, but it's a good checks and balance system to make sure that we have one bag for each child, and it also helps us get the things back on the bus. This was one of our favorite stories over the last year and a half. This happened right before COVID. We served the school this past year and a half ago, called Gateway Michael, and it is housed in a building that is brick and mortar with able-bodied children, and Gateway Michael serves children of differently able. So as this little girl is on a walker and she got mispossessed the help with her leg, we were able to fit these students with uniform clothing for the first time, and nobody had ever done that for them before. So the response that we got from these children that we fitted is now we look like everybody else. So even though they were walking with walkers, had braces on their legs, might have been differently able in some way, shape, or form, the uniform clothing made them feel like they looked the same. And that was a huge pat on the back to us for doing a good thing for these children. Again, this is another child of Gateway Michael. And we had to take the clothing to them because obviously it would be too burdensome to bring the children to us for the school. So we went to them and we fitted the children there at the school with those clothing items. We also have a giving garden in the backyard of our building. And again, we try to treat the trip to our headquarters as a field trip so that they learn as well as get their clothing. We realize that we're taking them out of school for half a day, so we don't want that to be missed time for learning purposes. A lot of the children that we serve don't see a lot of green spaces, so we have some ladies who are members of our organization called Master Gardeners. And so they developed this area in the back of our building, and it's a monarch way station. So they talked about bees and pollinators. A lot of the children are afraid of bees. We talked to them about all the good things that bees and pollinators do. And then they planted a garden. You can see a pumpkin in the far right-hand side on the back by the curb. There's a pumpkin there, and they were all amazed that there were pumpkins growing out of the ground. But they also have planted in there a spaghetti garden. And the spaghetti garden has things like bell peppers and basil and oregano and all the things that you would put in the spaghetti. But obviously, little kids, they're looking in the ground for where the spaghetti is. We haven't pulled that off yet. Right? So all in all, this one program, which is called Operation School Bell, gives away new school uniforms and police jackets. They get a hat, gloves, belt, underwear, socks, books, and personal care items. One of the other stories we hear during this is that when we go to put the toothbrush in with the clothing items, the child frequently says to me, "Can I put that in my pocket?" And we're like, "No, everything has to go in the bag, so that make sure that everything gets back to your school in one piece." And they're like, "No, but I've never had a toothbrush at my home. And I've always had to share, and I don't want to put that away. I want to put it in my pocket so I can have it myself." So we hear that frequently, and it's things that, really take us back, that we all take for granted that a lot of children don't have. Other thing I wanted to mention was Operation School Bell is the flagship program of assistance leagues across the country. Everybody has some form of Operation School Bell where they give clothing to the elementary level children. All the other programs that I will talk to you about today are things that we've looked at in our community that might help our community here in St. Louis. But if you go to the assistance league in Kansas City, in Missouri, what they do other than this program might look different. And everybody might run this program differently in that they might take children to Walmart to shop. They might give them vouchers to shop. But that's why we feel like the one-on-one is so important to us. And that we really feel like that connection really makes us stand out as being somebody different that is taking care of these children. We also put into the school a closet in each one of the schools that we serve. So should a child come into that school and transfer in tomorrow, and I went to assistance league today and I got my items at assistance league today, you would have access to the exact same things that I got yesterday, today. We have figured out that a lot of children are transient and move from school district to school district. And a lot of times they might miss the day that they were coming at the first school and miss the day they were coming at the second school. We want to make sure that we're serving the children to the best of our ability. And we have also partnered with the National Council of Women for this project to do the closets in the schools that we serve. Step to Success is the athletic shoe and sock program. Next one, we have partnered with Shoe Carnival. We purchased the shoes at a discounted rate from Shoe Carnival. And then we take the truck that Shoe Carnival loads up for us, like a rolling shoe store. And we go to 3 schools a day. We do 100 to 120 children in each school. And we individually measure and fit these children for new tennis shoes, and then they get 2 pairs of socks. And this is the children trying on their shoes and socks. This happens to be at the zoo. We do once a year. We've done at the zoo where we bring a school to the zoo, and we keep it as a field trip day. We put their shoes and socks on them. We feed them lunch, and then we do a tour of the zoo. We send the children out with members of ours. We talk about the animals in the zoo. We talk about the ride the train. A lot of the children have never ridden the train. That's something that costs money, and they may have been to the zoo but have never ridden the train before. So we try to give them an experience that they haven't had before. This is at one of the schools, and we are checking out the children, and as you can see, we have just as much fun as the children do getting their new shoes and socks. They frequently are doing things like jumping up and down and telling us we've never had these listening very intently about what bees and pollinators do. And just a picture of everybody in their shoes and socks. Project ROSE, the acronym for ROSE stands for Raise Our Self-Esteem. So this project deals with shelters for domestic violence, and the addition to that group is in ROSE Overland. Monthly, we deliver bags that look like these. We have nice pretty bags that we are delivering to these ladies, and in those bags, they get an outfit, they get nightwear, they get sometimes shoe wear, they get toiletries and underwear. And monthly, we deliver to 4 shelters, so about 130 of those bags go out monthly. And what they do is they keep those bags in a closet at the shelter. So if you walk in and you're a 2, they've got a bag size 2 for you. If you walk in and you're size 16, most of the time you want to come with your children. So we've got children's clothing to go out to the shelters as well. And hopefully in 3 months, those ladies are there, we get 3 sets of everything. So they get 3 sets of nightwear, toiletries, underwear, and outfits. So that after the 90 days, which is all they're allowed to stay there, they have from their own house. We also provide toiletries. These ladies are packing toiletries for the house itself, so detergent and larger items of toiletries, any size ones. Additionally, we found that there were people that frequently go to domestic violence shelters that had been assaulted, sexually assaulted, but also sexually assaulted. So we partnered with the YWCA to provide to those hospitals volunteers who respond to a phone call and say, sexually assaulted. And what we provide to the YWCA beds, size beds, and when the person says, I've been assaulted, they normally have to give up their clothing, their undershirts, so forth, for forensics to be done. So rather than that person feel more humiliated going home in a hospital gown with their back end flapping out, we provide to the YWCA scrub clothes in the summer and underwear and toiletries. And in the wintertime, they get a sweat outfit, so sweatshirt, sweatpants, underwear, and toiletries to give to those people that they go and visit. So we're partnering with YWCA. Additionally, those ladies that go to those shelters frequently need to go back to school to change their skill set or update their skill set. We have scholarship program, we partner with community colleges here, community college. They administer the program, but we fund the program. And they have requirements that they have to meet, grade requirements. And again, the community college administers it, but they can use it for books, tuition, daycare, whatever they need in order to go back to school. We have activity kits, children and adults and stuff, called My Own Fun Stuff. The small children one is packed with items that you see here, and our primary user of these that in hospitals. COVID did a little bit of a number on our delivery of these because we weren't letting things in, they weren't letting people in. So we partnered with the Urban League over the last year, and all of those drive-through events that they did for food, personal perspective, here, we gave away kits like this, and we also gave away books. And the Urban League partnership for us is phenomenal. So that's how we've been giving activity kits away over the last year. It shows us package with pack monthly these activity kits. And in the past, prior to COVID, we were delivering over 22,000 of these. Our primary users, as I said, are hospitals and emergency services and people doing this activity kits in those areas. Books from friends. This is our program that supports literacy. Book fairs in schools. We do replenishing libraries, and a little bit of a blurb here on the next slide. This one you have to hit the play button
creating a literacy which means is to promote literacy by providing books to our students. Level by providing them read with them, together on the show to our program. And so we learned a story about the day the books went on strike. We will have to go to school if they just have to go. So again, these are both fairs that we go out to the schools and do prior to COVID, where the children are allowed to choose their own books. This shows some of those children enjoying their books and finding books out there. This was an Eagle Scout that offered to do something for us, so we built a lending library. And this is, I want to see the Richmond School District. So I think this is our Richmond School District one. And I was going to bring you extra pictures because recently we did a parade at the Early Childhood Learning Center at Ritter, and there were just too many pictures that couldn't hold out. So anyway, this is one of my Ritter pictures. This is a picture of the library at Fisher House and the Jefferson Barracks that we helped to urban refurbish and stock the books. Outreach, we had so many outreach requests this year. We normally over a year might have 35 requests for outreach meetings, 85 this year. And the things that we are being asked for are things like bed in the bags or mattresses and things. There's so many people that are living in hotels and multiple family members in one hotel room or an apartment with multiple children. We had a story recently where a child was going to school and getting bullied because he smelled like urine. And so the school approached him and said, you know, tell us what's going on and stuff. And he said, well, we just have one bed at home and we all sleep in the same bed, all the kids do, and my little brother wets the bed. And so it wasn't the boy who was being bullied that was wetting the bed, it was his little brother that they didn't have laundry facilities to be able to wash his clothes every day. So he came in smelling like urine and was being bullied for the fact that he didn't have a bed. So we were able to provide a bed. Kids for Kids, these are hygiene kits, and our middle school kids are the ones that frequently are in need of these types of items. I'm sure you all have heard, because you're in a healthy organization like I am, that there are lots of things that aren't covered by food stamps that we all consider to be, you know, bare necessities, toothbrushes and toothpaste, soap, feminine hygiene products, deodorant. These are things that we frequently get requests for that people just don't have money for, that are what we consider to be bare necessities. This request, or this slide, on the right-hand side, you can see that there are very tall people and very little people. The very tall people are the Deshaun basketball state championship players from 2 years ago. We provided tennis shoes for them for their championship game. They needed these tennis shoes, and then they said, what can we do to help you and give back to you? So they came to our zoo event where we were giving shoes out to kids. They helped with the kids, but they also did the aerobic exercises with the kids. And as you can see on the bottom, they were signing autographs, and we had kids that had their shoes signed all over the place, and all I could think of was the mom was going to say, "Ooh, all over the shoes." But those kids, and I'm telling you, the basketball players were just as excited about it as the little kids were. It was really fun. On the left-hand side are students from UC High School. The gentleman who runs the Man of Valor program there, his name is Bishop Baker, and Bishop asked if we could help supply items for these students who are going to college. So as you can see in the pictures, there are black trunks on the bottom, there's pink trunks on the top. And they have a whole laundry list of things that they needed for these students to go off to college. We couldn't help with all the things that they had listed, which included things like dorm refrigerators, computers, and things like that. But we were able to do things like water bottles and bedding and towels and those kinds of things. So these were some of the other things that we did for our outreach program. At Christmas time, this is a school, a private school out in West County, here in Academy, that does a food basket collection. And we are recipients of those, and through our outreach program, we are able to distribute those. The baskets all have turkeys in them and non-perishables, as well as gift cards. And so this is another way that we're able to give back to our community. We have a waste not program where we try to give things that aren't utilized either by our store or that are donated to us, so that we can also donate to the community. Another picture of just distributing other items so that they don't go to waste. Republic Trash, the top right, does a toy collection for us every year, and we are able to distribute those both to domestic violence shelters as well as to our school partners. And the bottom left is one of our St. Louis public schools, high school gentlemen who came to pick up professional wear and suits and clothes, ties, belts, and so forth for you. This is our resale shop. It's located on Olive, just west of Barnes West, if you know where that is, in the Bellwood Shopping Center. Called Fantastic Finds. Ways you can help us, you can either shop or drop off, either way we need you. We consider ourselves an upscale resale shop, and we usually can clear about $250,000 to $300,000 a year through our resale shop.
Well, that's where it looks, right?
Yes, yes.
Awesome.
And as you can see, it's a nice store inside. We've got furniture, we've got clothing, we have books, we have linens. Really, the only thing we don't take is electronics. And so it's a great place to shop. It's setting up a second house, or if you're sending somebody off to college or whatever. And the clothing is very nice clothing and good prices. This is the back room, the ladies are pricing. We have a fall fundraiser to raise money for our program. We have a spring authors brunch to raise money as well. And just last week, we had an event at Top Golf, which was a new fundraiser for us. Authors brunch again. And then we have corporate and individual donors. Lots of names you recognize on tour that are very supportive and good to us, and we appreciate everything they do for us. Cardinal Care is another one. And this was a state farm agency that over the last year gave us a check for $500. This shows our president, Don Thomas, on the left, and the donor on the right. And they are presenting us with $500 check, which is in front of our storage board at our headquarters. And anytime anybody would like to come to our headquarters, please feel free to contact me. We have to set up an event. And thank you for your time and your attention. Visit our website, and other things that you can do to help us. As I said before, we're no paid staff, 66,000 hours. And the reason that we're here is because you care, and that's the last slide there. But if you know of anybody that we could present to, if you belong to an organization that would do a drive for us, a lot of times people think, oh, it always has to be money. Well, money is great, and we won't say no to money. But if you know of a place, a church or a school, this past year during COVID, we had Girl Scouts come to church us, and they did a collection and collected 6,000 books for us to give away to elementary public children. We're doing the back to school event with the Urban League for St. Louis Public School at the beginning of August, and we will need tons of books. So if anybody knows any place that I can go talk or if you work for a company that would be interested in doing a drive of toiletries or books or, cleaning items. Those are all things that we can use all the time. Money is welcome anytime, but we can certainly use any other thing. What questions do you have? No. That's all.
Obviously, you guys. What kind of budget?
There were over $1 million budget, and we are required by our national office to keep a year's worth of budget in reserve, so that anything like COVID or anything else happens, we are still able to serve the people that we promised to serve. We are a very professionally run organization. We have, two gentlemen in our organization, and it's not exclusive of gentlemen, but, the two gentlemen that are, in our organization are both work full time. I would say that the majority of our volunteers do not work, most of them are retired, and, we have strategic planning committee, we have board, we have an advisory board, community members, we have bylaws, we're run like a business. We are audited, Anders, CPA audits us, and, we've been audited for the past several years. Good day. It's close to 100, yeah. Right. That's my biggest.
How many children do you do?
3,500 in the building for that one program, the uniform program. But then probably you double that outside the building. So probably 7,000 children, that we touch. And the shoes, as I said, will be 100 to 120 children. Will be probably 10 days in the fall, 10 days in the spring of the shoe program. And I do have a fact sheet for, with all our statistics on it. Statistics are on the front and description of all the programs are on the back. And then I did bring business cards if anybody is interested in either contacting me for somebody else, or if you're interested in having me talk again, or they were telling me about, Rotary, and that you guys had speakers from across the world, over COVID, that's pretty cool. There are assistance groups throughout the United States. There might be other assistance groups that you might like to hear from. There might be, maybe there's another Rotary or another place that, I could talk to someplace else here or somewhere else if anybody would be interested. So I'd be happy to do that, and I really appreciate the time. I don't know if you all, anybody was here the last time I presented. I think it was probably 4 years ago at Rico. So I don't remember exactly how long ago, but it was the same time day. I'm there, so it was okay.
We know that.
So thank you again.
Very good. Thank you.
Times, that's one of our favorite places. For the Overland,
Perfect. I'll have to tell you.
yeah. And we did get one of the authors watches.
Oh, really?
Is it fairly easy for someone to sign up for volunteering? I'm asking because I conduct exit interviews for retired teachers, and they often say, I want to do something, but I'm not sure what I want to do. I want to do something related to helping kids, helping moms, somebody can direct them to your website.
Yes.
That you-
And we have, not that, but in the past, we get informational copies of the conferences about what we do. There's no pressure to join or not. We can learn if they want to.
Recognize that you're retired business teachers.
Oh, yeah.
I was actually on Zoom over
Oh, okay, yeah.
Other questions?
Excellent presentation.
Thank you, thank you so much.
Does anybody want to get into drawing or draw? The business part.
They're over here.
Thanks again.
Good to see you, Jack.
Likewise.
All right. That's around $200, so. That's full of ticket. 836.
Hey, that's me.
All right, Jerry.
It's almost counting.
Almost now.
Make sure it's not on the top or bottom this time, I mean, rearrange it,
Yeah.
you know?
I'm gonna shuffle them while looking at them this time.
Just saying.
We're gonna give Jerry a good chance here.
Almost.
Yeah.
Almost.
Now you're a couple
Well,
hours.
this is-
Hey, yeah, I've got it announced.
Doc has an announcement.
Yeah, I'm the sixth. My oldest told was, the oldest one was supposed to be over my middle practice. The next oldest, he said he was going to stay when the letter. That day. As the goes through, and my oldest son, is as single as you, I think tell him that he is going to go to medical school. His grades, his abilities are fantastic. You're going to go to medical school. So all of a sudden, that's great. Yeah, then the next oldest, he said, I don't like it with medical school. I'm going to go to medical school. So I said, still, I think I was going to have with somebody take over my practice. It's quite a bit of my second oldest going to. I'll be going to the something out tomorrow. 3 years now. Now, man, I like to say what you do. Let's go. I just have to tell you, you saw it.
Thanks, Doc. All right, anything else from the business group? Not. I do want to publicly thank Phil and Dave for getting here really early and getting the place set up. We'll get those out of the back row and join our group. All right, everybody have a good week. Program next week will probably be one of the presentations from the international
From the convention. I just
convention
got to
that's
figure
going
out.
on right now. So we will see you all here 7 o'clock next week, in person or online.
And no,
Thanks
it
for
doesn't,
joining us, Jack.
no, it doesn't change times.
Thank y'all.